Non-binary representation can be hard to find. Hell, transgender representation of any kind is still uncommon, but for people who don't fit into the categories of male and female, it feels especially difficult to locate fictional characters like us that we can look to for inspiration, adoration, and enjoyment. This is definitely true for anime, which, while having a long history of characters that differ from the norm when it comes to gender and/or sexuality, still doesn't have a lot of characters that are 100% without a doubt transgender. And it being stated clearly, not just an implication, matters a lot. So, when a character appears that is non-binary, they are worth noticing. And Stars Align gives us one such character. Asuka. Before I begin, I'll warn that I will reveal some things that happen later on in Stars Align that might be seen as spoilers. Not necessarily plot points, but if you don't want to know anything at all about the show before watching it, then go watch the series before continuing this video. It's available on Funimation and Hulu with either subtitles or an English dub, and it is a phenomenal series you should definitely check out, though it does end on a cliffhanger and there is no guarantee if it will ever have a resolution, which is unfortunate. But it's still a very good show. Asuka is introduced in the second episode of Stars Align. They are saved from bullies by Toma Shinjo, bullies who are mocking Yu for being effeminate and gay. Yu is later convinced to join the soft tennis club as its manager by Maki Katsuragi when he notices that Yu has a crush on Toma. Before I even get any deeper, I have to say, I nearly leapt for joy at just seeing a character say to another that it was perfectly fine for them to like whoever they liked. Anime still does have a problem with having positive gay characters and relationships. A lot of stuff feels exploitative and fetishy. Throughout the show, we see Yu as a kind, caring individual who helps the club any way they can. Far from being there simply to be near their crush, Yu takes initiative and works to better the club. Nor is Yu boy crazy, leering at the team as they practice, and nobody ever treats Yu any differently than any other member. It's unclear if anybody besides Maki has noticed Yu's attraction towards Toma or guessed at their being non-binary, but it absolutely feels like the club would instantly and completely accept Yu, just the way they are, and it is wonderful to see that. It really makes me wish I had a group of friends or classmates like that at that age. In episode 8, a plan is formed wherein Yu and Maki cross-dress to spy on a player at a rival school. While preparing, the pair have a discussion wherein Yu says that they are unsure of who they are, or who they want to be. Having done research on the LGBTQ+, Yu feels that they are probably non-binary, but doesn't feel comfortable with that label. As they put it, it doesn't feel right to be categorized like that. For a lot of people, labels are helpful. They create a space where a person can belong. But for others, labels sometimes don't feel right. Yu fits the term non-binary, but what they want is something that isn't easily categorized, because they aren't easily categorized. Being confused as to who they are, having to deal with society and the world at large, wanting some sort of answer, whether it's male, female, or other, it can feel suffocating. I don't know what I am, so how can I pick any of those? You might want to scream. It's hard. During this conversation, Maki tells Yu about one of his mother's friends, a trans man named Sho, who helped raise Maki when he was little. Sho dealt with a lot of pain having to live as a girl throughout school, but once he became an adult and started living outwardly as a man, he felt a lot better. For Sho, the only way to be happy was to live as a man, because he knew that he wasn't happy living as a woman. For Yu, it's harder to figure out, and this is something a lot of non-binary people struggle with. Being trans is never easy, but as Yu says, being unsure makes issues. If Yu was a trans woman, transitioning would help remove dysphoria. But not wanting to live as a man or a woman, not wanting to live within the binary gender structure, a lot of Yu's problems are hard to grasp, let alone resolve. because the awareness of the binary structure, when one has been raised in it without any clue that it isn't absolute, makes it hard to fight against it, to go against societal norms. Yu's confusion matters as much to me as the fact that they are non-binary. Confusion is something I deal with a lot regarding myself, and how I want to express myself and be seen. Maki's advice, in the end, is basically that a person should do whatever makes them comfortable, whatever eases the pain in their heart. For Sho, part of that was changing their name, from Shoko to Sho, and for Yu this is important too. Given the name Yuta, a typically masculine name, their sisters instead called him Yu, a gender-neutral name that suits me perfectly, Yu says, which Maki starts using too. It's a touching moment that made me tear up watching it. Yu doesn't have it all figured out, but they know one thing that makes them happy, and they have a friend that will accept and embrace the things that make Yu who they are. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking it. It goes a long way towards showing me that people like what I'm doing. And if you have any thoughts on Yu or other non-binary anime characters, please leave a comment below. I desperately want to know about more NB characters, so please share any that you know of. Until next time, stay queer everybody.